Unlike the likes of that Sprout series, like the likes of that Endpoint series, for example. Definitely the biggest matches in the careers of the majority of players for FTW as they get started on their own map pick. Dwayne, 2-1, 2-0, how you going?
I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt that they'll win a map. I think they're going to take Nuke, but I think it's going to be a 2-1 over to Order, and I don't think it's going to be a stomper. I think this is going to be one of the most competitive series as we've had all event.
Well, I'm with you on 2-1, but I think FTW will nip it in the bud as we get set to close out our day here in the ESL Pro League conference with Order versus For The Win Esports. Pistol round with Order on a CT start, and DDias is already taking contact down there towards Squeaky Door. Turns around towards Mini, gets 2 headshots on Story and Jerks. DDias able to get 1 trade, but DDias is still fragging with a triple. Sico in the backside, gets the kill, and now it's all left to Arrows. 1 versus 4, gets a trade at last, but needs 3 more.
A great start coming through from DDias out towards that mini position, and that's really what Order want to try and get out. Try and get as much out of the big man as possible, because something that DDias was always known for locally was being the next JKS, being that next star player that was going to make the jump up. And while he went over towards Renegades, while he went over to 100 Thieves, and he went over to Extremum, he never got the star roles. He always got put in the odd positions. Now he's come back locally and joined up with this Order team. They've pushed him into some of those old roles that he knows and loves.
Order will take the pistol to start things off. CT side expected to be the better half on this Nuke, so FTW maybe set to rue the day as time goes on. SMG for Hats is already going to start things off against the pistol. Quick force in towards that A site, and DDias with another triple will deal with all said pistols. No major buy for FTW. I think Zeus was the only real thing that was invested there into that round. So standard 2-0 start for the Aussies.
It's definitely a quick one at that. Couple of rounds to come through in quick succession. 2-0 start up for Order. And getting as much confidence down onto DDias as possible. And I think for Renegades, they're probably just looking for that next jump, right? You've come over towards Order. All of these guys have played on Order in the past, so it's that nice connection going back with a new org. Because I think a lot of people were surprised. Order dropped their CS lineup. You think, oh no, is Order leaving the scene? What's going on? And then all of a sudden, these guys get picked up.
Yeah, best team in AU. Ironically, actually, this lineup beat the old Order lineup to get to this position. They managed to make it into the conference via the AU Championships, and Order was one of their big rivals. So Order beating Order to claim a spot for Order. There you go. FTW working towards the outside with the standard smokes much closer towards Min. Does leave that gap open for the Heaven play to look out towards Secret. But no one's going to take that position for Order. FTW cross safely.
Get those L smokes forward, and like you mentioned, the silent approach. aliStair's down here at the double doors, just trying to peek up for some information, try and take a contact and fall back.
They've seen 2, may even spotted that 3rd player on the way back out. Did the damage to DDias. Incendiaries come back from both sides. Smokes in to extinguish one of them. Now Sico on the back of the site to engage the contact. It's Arazos and Jerks there with the kills back, and Sico will get 1 good trade back towards ramp. A 4-on-3 game by FTW. Order are forced out of the B site, and I don't think they're going to get back in. I say that, and they even up the man advantage.
Yeah, this looks promising now. I thought it was actually going to be a save call coming through from Order, but now they've brought it back into a 3v3. You probably have the benefit of the doubt of at least trying to go for it.
There's an AK also in the hands of Hats. Of course, that earlier trade from Sico up towards that top of ramp now might enable a bit more firepower and enable the true execution to come forward. The retake on for Order. Incendiary center backside. Story seen over at Decon getting damaged up. Jerks with a triple, a quadra in the round. The spray down that gets FTW started.
Yeah, lovely stuff coming through from Jerks, and he's definitely a player to kind of dive in a little bit deeper, right? We saw an Inferno 2-17, had an absolute shocker, went over to Ancient 20-12, went into the last map of the series on Vertigo 36-33. He was the top fragger on map 2 and on map 3, and was a key individual in that Sprout series.
Yeah, went from having one of the worst performances in Pro League so far to becoming the MVP of the match. See whether he can continue that MVP performance. So far, 4 kills, so top of the board right now for FTW. Not top of the board in the server just yet. That honor goes to DDias thanks to his 2 triples. But he's starting to make up the numbers. With pistols out on the Order side, should be easy enough for FTW to clean this up. They want those guns out and to hold a true contest, a true fight in this matchup.
Now, Aros just making sure that he keeps eyes in case there's any lobby crunch or pressure to be applied towards the top side play. But knowing that it is just a light eco, there's not really any unexpected surprises. Maybe that 5-7 can come in for 1. Any more than that is pretty good to come in for Sico.
3rd? Surely not. 2 more players here. The bomb's been dropped out towards the B side, so they are going to get forced to fight. But yeah, that was a big surprise. Probably not expecting that gap to be unchecked. 2 frags definitely getting away, a lot more damaged up on that T side than they expected. Still 3 players alive. And again, the even man standing. The guns do deal with those pistols. And the rifles can come in. I did notice there was at least one player on double eco status, though.
Yeah, gotta wonder here for Order how much of a change that actually manifests to allow a couple of kills to come through like that. Get the AWP out for aliStair. Remember, Sico used to be the AWPer of this team before aliStair joined.
He had some Sico shots at times. I'm not going to use that pun too many times.
Yeah, go on then. Leave it once.
Yeah, it's an overused pun. Arrows still tagged up early as aliStair peeks in with the AWP. Ready for the engagement against Diaz. One player behind him with the bomb on his back. Peek together, that could be a disaster. Okay, thought that was a collateral. But aliStair just gets the frag on the first man. Re-peeks in from vents. Goes to the other side as well to try and re-ingress. Get a kill. Up for the triple. Oh, the AWP is going ham. He's even going in for more. Story thinks he's peeking to the wrong side, but looks away at the right moment. At least gets that trade, but that's a 3-for-1.
Yeah, what an incredible hold that is from aliStair down there at that lower bomb site, individually holding down B by himself. And now for Story and Aros, how do you bring this back? At least you've got the bomb control. The time is on their side, but 2v4, they're in completely separate positions.
The one's on 22 HP. Arrows took that early tag up towards the outside position. They could try a split in. They could catch Liaz off guard. He's not checking heaven, so the tap comes forward. Player at closed vent also detected. The AWP is going to try work against him. He wraps that corner, but the flick's not quite good enough, and Hats can get both kills, maintain the lead for Order.
I think we saw aliStair really make a name for himself internationally, Jay, when he was playing at one of the early ESEA global challenges over in North America when they were playing under the Chiefs lineup back then. This is obviously really rolling back the clock. And that was probably the first taste, I think, of the international audience getting a glimpse at aliStair.
It's been a while since that point. Remember which global challenge it was?
I think it was season like 22,
oh,
roughly.
That's a very long time ago. He's back in the equivalent here in the new cycle, in the new circuit. Chance to prove that he's still got it. Order. Right now they got the lead, 3-2 on the board. FTW not quite getting the bomb plant bonus in that previous round. They're still going to force the issue with the limitations of the Galils on 2, the MAC-10 of 1. Lacking in helmet as well for Jerks. The CTEs just keep themselves at bay.
So it's a variation of the lower setup. Last time we obviously saw aliStair with the AWP down there at lower. He's playing Heaven this time around, and they've actually put Liaz in a long-range position from that decon door with the SMG.
A boost up to allow the quick peek in towards the decon stairs. Liaz being careful about this, heard the footsteps and does catch Diaz, all right. It's back out of dodge on towards the site. Knife pulled out, however, not expecting the player to be at double doors, so Agil can get the trade back, a 4-on-4 as a result. The bomb should get planted from here and had to be there to cover off the backstab.
Yeah, Sico needed to be a little bit quicker to that trade. They expect a late lurk out from that squeaky door, so Aros is just getting smoked off now.
He's hiding in the midst of that smoke, though. He might pop out of it and find two individuals. Goes back to the squeaky corridor as aliStair is caught back by Story, so a 4-on-3. And now Arrows can strike back on the Hats now. Inns and Sico, the last two players, and recognizing that they've got no chance. They were already backing up for a save, so no way of a retake here.
And knowing the limitations of the T side in recent history for the win, I'm expecting any more than 6+ rounds in this first half, Jay, would be a very impressive total.
They're up to 3-all. So even man standing, even score standing for the time being. A much more confident basis for FTW in this particular round. Damage done to the HP numbers, only one casualty established.
Oh,
stay hydrated,
Vertex boys. Getting into it, supporting the team, that's what we want to see. Fee for Vertex. Where's the haircut? I want to see it.
Of course you do.
Bring Roffelko on the stream.
Maybe if he can make it further in the bracket, we'll think about that.
Oh, mate. That's a rough one.
Order looking to do their countrymen proud, including yourself, Dweg. Tactical pause has just been called, a moment to talk things through because we have been dead set even on the scoreboard. 3-all means that no one has found a definitive advantage. Even when it felt like at certain points, there was a squad that was going to pull away.
It could come down to the economy management. You could see there for Liaz that initial prod forward for that opening kill, try and get back down towards the side directly, but it was the peak open from the double doors that really caught him off guard. And 2 M4s in for both Inns and Sico. Everybody else just going to be light on the eco.
USPs and a P250. Back up the 2 slave rifles as you would expect. Sico Trying to dive down towards ramp with one of them. Inza spotted a player towards outside. DDias gets caught for it. A 5-on-4 already found by Order.
That's a very cheeky off-angle boost, wasn't it? The boost up towards credit card, towards that left-hand side, a bit of unorthodox. Try and get a smoke down towards ramp, and even another one of those M4s picking up from Secret. This could be a decent outside crunch in.
They're playing careful about it, though. Again, they know they're limited on firepower here for the Order side. The man advantage is not going to be enough with this setup. M4s have got to strike hard and strike in a calculated fashion. Inns will catch a player off spray. Arrows down to 32 points of health. USP trying to finish off the job, but just gets tanked in the face by nades and flashes. Further resmokes on, and Molotov sent back a squeaky door. But it's all a ruse. They're going into ramp room. liAs is trying to fight on towards them, but the P250 just still can't get a good headshot.
It's all chip damage, though, and these rotations are going quick down to lower. There's a stack involved.
Setting it dark. Sico going to wait for his chance to strike. Does some dink damage. Arrows down at 8 points of HP, so Sico can find a trade. As the USP also in a decon, about to face in against the bomb planter. He's waiting right towards him. Has no idea he's at point blank. Gets that headshot, and now it's a 4-on-2. Now Order have a chance here, but Jerks has other plans. Gets his kill back story, firing away, missing a bullet, and just doesn't know where they're coming in from. Sico with a double, a triple in the round, and a 4th round for Order on what was basically an eco steal.
Yeah, that's a huge steal, knowing that you had the 2 M4s in play, and I think it comes down, obviously, to those pistols getting involved. I think when Ends took the duel out towards the squeak door, you saw aliStair getting a bit of assistance. Even for liAs, he catches that information, dives back down to that lower bomb side, and what helps is the fact that that P250 doesn't stand and fight. If he stays around, maybe it doesn't go as well as it does, because there's so many players down there on lower, and it meant that Sico with the M4 just had easy frags, really.
Yeah, and the pistol stood on the pillars of the rifles in that case. Although the bomb did go down for FTW, the cash is not there for a full investment. Mac 10 and 3 Tech 9 to P250 for a kill. Incendiary set with smokes back. Hat's going to get overwhelmed with a flashbang, and the Mac 10 just sprays him down, riddles bullets all over his body. But at least there's a burn kill, a 4-on-4 scenario. That bomb plant should be secured, though.
A fantastic upper take coming through for the win, really quick in pace. And the spams continuing to come back from that main position. Heaven smoke as well. They're going to try and flash their way forward.
Backed up here, that bomb down. Where do they attack from? Where do Order press the issue? In's in from Heaven. A flashbang in to set him up for the quick peek. A second one may even get thrown out, but he body blocks it. That's not good. One trade back for aliStair. Story can double up with the Mac 10 at long range, though. liAs now just alone as aliStair falls up in Heaven. One good kill comes in for that M4, but it's still not good enough for all. FTW are keeping pace.
And that's a rookie mistake, to be honest, there from Order. You can see what they're trying to do. The Heaven paint can smoke, the first flash to go, and then the second one to get them into the side, and there's a body block. When you've got a setup like that involved, you've got to make sure that that utility is on point, and instead they muck it up. They're not able to get the retake together, and for the win, they just send it. That was a full upper take. That was a complete rush.
Yeah, they're getting really aggressive against this Order side. Is that characteristic of how their playstyle has been over the course of this Pro League?
For the Portuguese?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they love to be a very hyper-aggressive play, and that's always been the Portuguese scene in general.
They're going to take that aggression down towards the vent dive. 2 players made it down there. Hat's heard one of them. Tagged up on arrows. Of course, Jerks tagged down to nothing. Left dead in the early part of this round. DDias towards outside, top of silo, catches Ins, and he gets that frag back to a 4-on-4. The bomb, meanwhile, has made its way down towards B with virtually no resistance here.
That's an excellent lurk towards the top of silo outside, getting a really nice shot onto Ins. And now for Order, they have to go through from this ramp control. They don't have that outside split, and they don't know about the vents control either.
Oh, DDias with another frag on outside. liAs to drop, and with that 4-on-3, Order know that they can't really go for a retake. They were still setting up positions as that frag came forward. Not the first time they've lost an advantage in an XVX situation on the retake. That one casualty throws the whole thing off, and Order will just maintain their lives as FTW take the lead back once again. 5-4 on their board. And the money isn't looking good for Order, so it's a good thing they saved those guns.
And what's crazy to think about in the Spanish Masters to actually get themselves to this event, Jay, is not only did Saw not take this spot, but Movistar Riders got grouped. Like, when you think about the teams that we know are the strongest in the Iberian scene, it's normally Movistar Riders as 1, Saw as 2, and then maybe for the winners a 3rd or 4th.
I mean, even at that, right? Like, not exactly the top end of competition right now in Pro League, which is exactly why it's so stunning to see them make as much progress as they have in the conference. They're making progress against Order. aliStair again caught towards outside. DDias opening up the round, taking one of those 3 M4s out of play.
And they've been good with the spots towards that silo position. Even the boost up towards a closed vent's been seen. Put the smoke down to provide some coverage. As soon as that AWP of aliStair was seen towards a back of T ready, just couldn't force the fight out into the open.
Losing one weapon. No opening pick for Order. No trade potential as of right now. Not even the tag damage has made a massive amount of work against FTW. Maybe Arrows could be in trouble if they find a couple of USP dinks. Flashes forward, one player towards outside, working in against the credit card position, but he's got his back turned towards ins, can tap him down, but eventually get the kill in the round. As Arrows also follow suit. DDias headshots Sico. Despite having the health advantage, they can't get those trades. It's all 5 alive for FTW.
That's a very good round in for the Portuguese. Looked to be a little bit awkward when you don't completely clear out that credit card position, but some slight whiffs in by that USP of ins, and then obviously for Sico, not quite capitalizing on that trade frag and allowing the aggressive maneuver to come through from the observation windows. Now you wonder now, here for the T side, how much more is really going to get gained? Because when we saw FTW playing Saw in that grand final on LAN in the Spanish conference, they managed 6 rounds on their T side. Now they've got 6 rounds on their T side now, and even more can come.
Wasn't it you that said the 6 rounds could be enough for FTW?
Literally.
Here? Well, they've achieved that achievement. Order are taking their second tactical timeout to figure out whether they can get to 9-6. Because at this point, they might be required to do that.
Hey, we know that Nuke is a map that, for Order, they actually pick quite a lot locally. So that's why it's a bit of a surprise in this sort of an environment. They didn't pick it at all in the RMR, but definitely in the AU and NZ champs. They picked it a lot there.
Coming out here against FTW, it's not yielded the early results that you'd hope for. Again, it was the outside that aggressed, and Ins didn't even see DDias. I thought that nade would have been enough info, the vision being gained, but apparently not. Tags up against Jerks, coming up 4 HP, and DDias will continue his progression down towards that secret control. Meanwhile, FTW stack up in lobby, want to play towards ramp.
Yeah, they're working well with these opening man advantages on T side. Start mimicking the defaults and start over-rotating CTs. And knowing that ramp's completely clear, this could be an easy side take down to lower.
Incendiary set down. Hats getting his eyes set as the kill comes back for Liaz at last. Doubles up on Story. aliStair even sneaks in with a backstab. Arrows taken back next, and suddenly it's fallen apart here for the T side. DDias and Agil forced to fight back. Can't find a way to work in, though, and losing the bomb and everything.
I don't really know how that's happened, Jay. You've got an opening man advantage and ramp control, and then somehow the lobby crunch comes through, and they just get annihilated. Story finds nothing, Jerks too. Arrows can't even get a trade frag. And now for Agil and DDias, you've got to try and recover a 2v4 with about 40 seconds on the clock.
The AWP is just set for aliStair. He's not even going to move from this position. Play Overwatch against the bomb. Smoke down, in fact, to make sure that Agil doesn't take any sort of face, and 30 seconds remain. FTW forced to save themselves, getting a bit of a taste of their own medicine here. They've beaten Order into submission so many times over the course of this half. The second respoke confirms that there's no way they get this bomb back. DDias will strike back for an exit frag onto Hats. Try working against the rest of the CTs. They're going quite aggressive for this, though. Doesn't look like a save. 10 seconds for all the frags to come through. Liaz and aliStair deal with it, so a little bit silly in the outset here for FTW.
I disagree.
You could see that they were trying to go for the win there, though.
No, they weren't. There's no way. They're going for exit damage. Think about how strong their economy is. There's hardly any rounds left in the half. They're not going for the win. There's no chance you're going to get all 3 kills or kills and get the bomb down. You're looking to try and take as much weaponry out of play in a round like that.
They charge into all 3 CTs with 10 seconds left.
Yeah, there's no way they're going to be able to get all of them and win the round, though, are they?
Possible. I don't know about that one.
Well, you say possible. Look what happened. They're just looking for exit damage, Ray.
Either way, Order will find 5. FTW will be able to rebuy. You're right about the economy state, and DDias again can strike first on Silo. Ins tagged up. Liaz lets 3 players cross. Spray and utility damage doing so much to the T-side HP bars, which Sico can capitalize upon against Arrows. But a 4-on-4 situation, making it 4-on-3 actually. Sico holds his ground.
That's a beautiful rotation down to that lower bomb site, and now Story tries to cut the timing off. Walk through from that hut control, has to send DDias. That's an opening man advantage round, Jay.
And now Agil in a 1-on-4. When you thought that him and his teammates were able to dive down to that B site successfully, might still secure a bomb plant from here. but it's the retake that will be the main concern.
This is getting slightly awkward now because this is a couple of rounds in which FTW have had big advantages, Jay. And do we need to go back to the conversation of saying we haven't really seen For the Win put up that much of a fight on their map picks? So far, they're 0 for 2 of wins on their map picks. Like, I know it's still the T side here of Nuke, but do we need to get into that conversation?
The conversation will shift towards Agil right now, getting that bomb down again. Hearing all the CTs wrapping around towards him, in towards Vents in particular, turning away from flashes. 3 up there towards the ramp, and it was always going to be a triple man face. Quick kill for Hats on the trade, and that'll be Order equalizing again.
Yeah, we know that for Order, trying to get as much out of this first half as possible. They've got a decent T-side on them, and it's always difficult to make the comparison, right? Because FTW are playing in Europe, they're playing against a lot of local competition. Order are playing in Oceania, they're playing a lot of local competition. But I would say the Order have got the stronger T-side in recent history of Nuke. So kind of when you're weighing that up, you think to yourself, well, if FTW don't find enough in this first half, they really need to capitalize on these next few rounds. That's what's important.
Well, 6 swords, we enter round 13. Both sides want an advantage. Both sides would love to have this half, especially Order. Need to make the most out of this CT side. Hats dives in. Gets picked off by arrows outside a squeaky door. aliStair blind with a flashbang, does connect the spray together in the end. He even gets a double for it. Saw that player in the back, and aliStair can deal with him. Ends with a follow-up kill. And once again, Agil's left in the clutch. He just can't seem to win it. These rounds are done so quickly for FTW.
And this is where you've got to start wondering with the top side plays, is it really worth it? Because in all honesty, FTW found more success when they've slowed it down. They had that one round, I'll give them that, where they went for the upper rush and there was like the body block of the flash. That worked out. Other than that, when they've gone ramp, when they've gone outside, when they've been slowing the clock, more success has been found in the first half.
Order have the lead once again. FTW, AK up on the half by. AWP set for aliStair, seeing the shoulder bait coming through, but not taking the shot. You almost feel like it's on the tip of his finger there to go for that shot back. And aliStair spraying through, doing damage to arrows once again, finding that awful fire. One player so far deep in towards that A side, but they just can't do anything with it.
And they're trying to work with the player out towards event position, and now Sico even out towards ramp is going to line up 3 and make it very simple. And he has been on fire towards ramp and diving down to that lower bomb site. He's been consistent.
Yeah, 14 kills, top of the board right now for the CT side. aliStair's going to equalize towards him though, make it 14 kills for each of those players. Bring in the half for Order, so at least they have that to their name.
Yeah, Order starting to get a string of rounds in a row, and just knowing that they're getting into the game, because really you could say it was a bit of a slow start on CT side.
And they got the pistol and the conversions, and they went back and forth for a bit, and then of course FTW took control. Definitely could say that. AK's on 2, M4's on 2, AWP out for the CT forces to go into the last round of the half with a little bit extra firepower, which they'll apply straight to DDias. aliStair picks up the opening frag.
Now, aliStair's been finding quite a bit with the AWP. Haven't seen much AWPing from Story over the course of this first half. And Jerk's trying to see if he could work that outside control. Sico just trying to anti-rush any of the nades down there to that ramp position too. The spam in for aliStair towards the squeak door.
Arrow to 22 HP. Still taking charge of this initial peek in.
Ooh, that would have been heard.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to react to it per se, though. They have no idea how many players are there in lobby.
Yeah, there's still 3 players to defend this upper site, and even for Hats, he's just got his incendiary pulled. As soon as he gets contact of the util, he wants to try and slow it down from the hut control.
Yeah, just stall the moment he sees a pixel, the moment he sees a shoulder. Jerk's almost about to give it to him. You can see how close he is. Smoke's being set up here from the T-spawn. Counter smokes in from the CT side as aliStair presses up, does get tagged up. Hats is incendiary, has let a player cross already. Might burn arrows down, but no, both players converge in from opposite sides of the site and bring back the advantage for FTW. The AWP, no scoping and quick scoping and getting the kill, but Jerks quickly trades. Sico doesn't last long. It's Ins now in the 1v3 with a kill to his name. Swings around for the second and drops that bomb, leaves it all on Story.
Yeah, wraparound coming through from the heaven control. Ins isn't reading that this could be the play.
There's no idea, absolutely no idea. Does Story get the read. He'll check it and see the spray that sees out the half. 8-7 up for Order.
Impressive stuff coming through from Order. Is it enough as we head over to Heku?
On their map pick for the win, managed to get 7 rounds. It's actually great because we need to keep in mind that this is Nuke, and once they change sides, it can be just a one-sided map. It will be really important on who is getting the pistol, so we'll be back with that after the break.
Well, as close to half as you can get it between Order and FTW. Order just nipping it in the bud at the turn of the half, but FTW had to clutch it to bring it to 7. And now as we head into the pistol, Order will be looking to try and repeat the same success that they did in the first round of this game.
FTW have struggled hard in the pistol round so far this event, Jay. 3 wins and 8 losses.
Oh.
One of the worst track records in the entire conference so far. Now, if they can turn this around, obviously it's a positive note, because getting off to a start in the second half could be brilliant for their city side.
Indeed it could, right? But you mentioned that pistol win rate success, and you've got to start looking at more like the rifle rounds and everything on from that, because it's not like it's like a foregone conclusion already. Like, you can still lose the pistol here, give it 11-7, and then go from there. It's not the worst situation in the world for FTW to be playing from. And as Heku was mentioning before the break, the CT side is where everything can go completely topsy-turvy. Smokes down for the T side, default DDias towards outside, trying to look for some Sico-style plays, but unable to do so. It's Ins alongside Sico's flash assist that gets the opening kill. And now they go deep into CT territory. aliStair unaware of how close they really are. And Jerks the Story can get both those frags.
Now, Order diving down to that lower bomb site. Want to try and cut one of those rotates off in the vents position. FTW coming fast from the ramp control.
Great taps from Inns, a second kill for him in this round. Tagged down to nothing as Arrows will be able to get that trade. And now it's Sico and Hat with the bomb going down. Hat looking for heads, but just can't seem to land them. Just tag damage being done. So it's Sico with the Glock in hand, switching to the USP. Has no Kevlar, does find a headshot on the way out. But the trade is so sick and so quick as FTW take that pistol.
Very good rotations there for FTW. And I think for Order, they probably just got caught up in a miscom. Yeah, they get the pick towards outside from Inns. I think if they would have dived everyone to that lower bomb site, they would have found more success. Instead, they provide aliStair and Liaz that rat play to get in towards the lockers to try and dive around with the rotations and stall for time. And instead, that crossfire between the two found nothing.
And with that pistol, FTW even up the scoreline once again. The bomb plant was gained by Order though, so there will be a buy. Galils and Tech-9s. The Deagle also in for aliStair. Smokes at the cross. Grenades up. And the walk forward. Outside of the red box, Diaz. Trying to see if we can see someone out to the outer yard. There is a gap at the right-hand side of that smoke, but the teams won't be aggressing there.
It's all about a matter of timing to start working this outside control. FTW haven't got a glimpse on it just yet. Try towards outside. Sico finds that first. The trades are in favor of the CTs, though.
Yeah, Story able to double up, make sure it's a 4-on-2 scenario to the favor of the CTs. Hats gets that one trade. Smokes down as he continues to look towards outside. aliStair, he saw that gun barrel. He knows where he is, but is he going to walk right into the man? No, he's not. Agil had no idea. Back to 2-on-2 now. That bomb's going to work its way back in from the outside. Might get challenged or might do the challenging. Jerks now. Down and out. Arrows are low. Knows where both T-side players are. Just got to win those fights. And he gets one of them. Now for the second man. Hearing aliStair. Trying to runny boost his way in, but gets overwhelmed. And there's that FAMAS with the clutch that holds the round together for FTW.
An important clutch, because that could have been a perfect reset opportunity right there for the Order side. It comes down into a stance of slowing the round down. aliStair finding some impact with the dig. Hats outside as well, around that garage and credit card position, finding success. But not quite getting the job finished. And for FTW, that was a sweaty round.
Been very sweaty over the course of this day, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Whatever's required to bring this match home. Again, winner advances to the advancement matches here in Pro League Conference. Loser will be out for good. Lower bracket game, so all to play for. FTW playing for more picks. The SMG is getting involved with Diaz doubling up onto aliStair. Caught Hats earlier on in the round. Of course, basic pistols with only Glocks, no real Kevlar being brought in. And Story and New Jerks can't deal with them all. Felt like it was a Story double there in the jump phase, but didn't quite get that lucky into the 1v5 now. Surely should fall, and indeed, that's the case.
I think it would be great as well for the Portuguese scene in general to have a strong Portuguese team, because I think in recent history, the Iberian scene's obviously seen what Movistar Riders have done, but when we look in the past, you can have a look at Saw, you can have a look at Offset, Giants when they had rosters, Kick as well, but definitely in recent years, I think other than Saw, we haven't had that one representative at international events, and maybe for FTW, they could overtake Saw on a more consistent level.
Well, look, they had to beat Saw to get here.
Yeah.
So to have to go through that team, their own countrymen, what you could consider to be the best team in Portugal.
Yeah.
It's a hell of an achievement to take. For FTW, that in itself might earn your way into other tournaments. Some invites, perhaps qualification will be a bit difficult. And again, they're only 2 series away from making it through into the Pro League. They could, I could see a world in which they would beat Order and then potentially even beat Illumina. That'd be a bit of a stretch. It would be a close banger of a game. But it's not the most impossible situation in the world, considering what we've seen so far in conference.
I think anytime you've got a conference of 16 teams and 6 go through, there is going to be some surprises. You are going to get some teams that advance forward that maybe you don't expect. The Story putting that re-smoke down towards the squeaky door position. Order starting to set up the util towards the outside play.
Smokes on. The L set you mentioned earlier coming out from the Order side. FTW used this to get down towards Secret pretty easily. And DS is going to try to counter that up close. He saw the shadow but didn't see Inns. And Inns can strike first for it. Nade's coming in close, but Story doubles up with a spray through smoke and a nade that lands perfectly on the low HP player. And now Lias dealing with the backstab. Or that's what I think. Arrows has the jump.
2 players trying to get in and around that T-roof position, aggressing through the lobby crunch. And now for Order, they've got to up the ante. They've got to get the pace down to lower. far.
Double doors open, Jerks heard it, tags up. Hat's forced to make his way into some harder cover. aliStair going for the backside plant. 3-on-2 for the retake. SMG's overwhelmed Story with a triple. On for the quadra, perhaps aliStair bursting in, looking for the headshot. And that second CT's also on the way in. Story trying to go for heroics as Arrows now gets towards the site. aliStair repositioning and surely should be heard by them. But knife pulled out, AK swinging, and he has absolutely no idea of the reposition. Noise made on site. Back we turn to the M4. The spray's easy and the round is easy for FTW.
Now that's played to absolute perfection for the win. You can see the way in which they have the noise that aliStair is coming back in and around from that single door position, and they're trying to pull a distraction on the site. They want that site player to tap the bomb, make some noise, draw the attention forward to allow aliStair to be caught tunnel visioned, to not look out towards that right-hand side. And so far, this has been an impressive CT side.
Yeah, 3 rounds separate. FTW 4 in a row, including the last round of the last half. That's 5 in a row. The M4's happy to play in against the AKs. Bit of a bonus buyback from that previous one. Diaz will turn his main rifle into a frag immediately, getting ahead of the smokes before they bloom this time.
Now Diaz still waiting for that drop down to come from the top of silo position. Sico are starting to tail those smokes, looking to try and see if he can get a trade-off. Working in and around it. Worked well for Ins in the last round, but the trades were excellent from Story.
Oh, sprays from the man, combining alongside Diaz, can get that second pick in the outside area. Hat's dropped, as is the bomb. Nades onto Sico. And aliStair swinging a hit. Diaz to drop.
A little bit slow on the walk towards outside, and it meant that they were caught before the smokes came through. And now for Sico's down to a 1v4, lost all of his teammates for the win. Could this be flawless in the second half?
I mean, it's looking confident early on to do so. We saw some very early starts from FTW in the first half. That could also be something to consider. But as of right now, it does feel like that we're on track to see a flawless CT side. Or they're going to have to put a stop to that soon. They can at least get a bomb plant here. Sico has no resistance on B. As soon as I say that, though, Jerks makes his way down from ramp. The decon door opens, the CTs adjust, and A-Gill just lets him go no further. Quick headshot on the swing. And FTW starts stacking up the CT side.
And just to compare the experience once again, without going into detail on the EPLs in the past, the average player age on For the Win is 21. For Order, it's 25.
Now into this game, a tactical timeout is called, their third one on the Order side. Haven't seen much progress gained because of this though, Dwayne. I'm concerned at their current stance here, because we talk about that experience, but right now it feels like experience is being trumped by just sheer firepower.
I'll get the timeout to come through from Kingfisher. I remember back in the day, I even used to cast some of his games. JNX Pro that was playing on Paradox. Had some experience coaching Legacy, Ground Zero, Avant, and of course now the Order side. I'm trying to see if he can provide that extra knowledge, that sixth opinion that might help out with some of the calling style. Again, Sico picking up the reins of the in-game leadership over from Ins. And it was Dexter before that, who obviously went over to Mouse.
Also on the other side, we've got DDias over for the win.
He's 20 years old, by the way. He's younger than some of the players are.
He's younger than me.
Yeah, he's younger than me, mate.
Rush forward for Order, trying to see if they can change the pace, and it is kind of working to evade the CT side, eventually get that kill on Arrows, and AK picked up and the B side being gained. This might already be a save call for FTW. They're not exactly in retake positions. I say that, and Jerks is still throwing utility down. Got Ins up close and personal. The Tech9 lands that headshot in the end. Diaz forced to trade. But I don't think his heart is in it. He's continuing to prod, actually. Hat's almost caught for dead, but not to be.
Oh, what an eco steal this was out of Order. And this is twice now. First in the first half, and now secondly in the second, Jay. We've seen steals on rounds in which probably shouldn't come through when you're limited with the money. Is that a weakness? Maybe something we should watch out for the series continues. Is FTW on the anti-ecos?
Well, they've lost one right here and now, giving up 3 free rifles to the Order side.
You'll be happy about that.
Yeah, taking the AKs away from the CT side especially, limiting that firepower. One stays in for A-Gill, the AWP stays for Story, so the money should line up to a respectable buy here for the CT forces. Guns should be flowing, there should be a rifle round to reinvest into. And if they can keep it up against this Order side, then in theory this will just be a blip on the radar, but This could also be the way in for Order themselves.
Now, this is only the second international LAN for the core of For The Win, knowing that their first event, Jay, was a small Malta event, a bit of a local LAN. Now they've got the opportunity to play in front of a crowd. And like you mentioned, be a couple of best of threes away from probably making the best story in the conference.
I like that one.
Yeah.
That was good. Wow. Story of Tacticals does indicate that FTW are in a much more confident position. They've just called their first over here on Nuke. Order had to go 3 deep to get their first on the T-side line. DDias has faith in his boys. 3 rounds make the difference right now. Order again have their gun by thanks to that eco steal. A lot of players not having to worry about the major investments. There's 3 players on 3.9 grand and above, really. Flashes forward for the execution. They're going to overwhelm Agil. Harrows, though, gets 2 on a spray down. aliStair forced to respond. 1 more player out in the open is DDias. He is going to get a kill on the way back out of the round, so we're 2-on-2 now. The Molotovs will suppress. The bomb can get planted from here.
A decent trading by the T's, but it could still be the environment of the aggression up towards heaven.
It's all on Jerks now. 14 kills to his name. Seeing at least one of those players, and also has eyes on the bomb. Smoke down. Going to go for the Ninja, perhaps. Taps it once. The smoke will bloom. Goes for the hunt around the outside. 2 heads to find. The spray's not quite with it. And that's Order making their way up to 10. No, I did talk about the idea of FTW bouncing back. Order finding their way in. It's definitely looked to be the way in here.
And that's what I want to see from Order. Tight trading. And that's definitely been something in the event so far that I think's been a weakness, Jay, is their trading game. Right there in the 2v1, the spacing is wide enough that they're not lining up, but also not too wide that they're giving up isolated duels. aliStair and Liaz working really well with that situation. And now for FTW, when we look where the money flow is, we can imagine a fairly simple round here for Order.
Yeah, just that Hero M4. Upgrades on a couple individuals. Not even true half buy here for the CT forces. I mean, they have 1 more with less to their credit, especially in that first half. Hats that does find Jerks to kick things off, though, so not much found by him. Story now in at the decon door. Waiting over the window of the control room. CTs also rotate to the back lines.
And For The Win are going to know, when you go into a veto process like this and you're going into the highest picked map in the pool for Order, yes, it is a lot of local results, you know you're going to be in for a fight. You know that this isn't going to be an easy map pick. I think we've seen that previously For The Win when it comes to their Sprout game as well, or just how tight at least that final map of the series could be.
55 seconds and Liaz press the issue. No one up here on A. DDias caught with util in hand, down to 21 points of health. Not quite dead yet. Keyword there being yet. Even then, they probably won't even go for the hunt here on the Order side. Not worth it to hunt for 1 rifle, which they're going to buy back in the next round anyway. So for FTW, it does mean that the Order deficit will reduce to just 1 now on the board.
I haven't seen any Nuke from the Order side so far this event. We saw them play Ancient and Inferno against Encore and Duster and Mirage. So we're getting, I guess, a little bit of taste of some other maps in the pool.
Yeah, curveball's thrown in the veto, so whether it curves the way of Order or FTW, whether that curve is to their favor or just a smack in the face. Not quite clear of a picture at this moment. We'll push towards that outside control, but keep those guns in. Story again staying alive with the M4. The Kevlar on 2 individuals will also stay back. And 12-11 is the scoreline at the moment, favoring FTW thanks to their early lead gain off the back of that pistol. They've struggled since those early few in a row. 3 back from this Order side. True rifle round can come into play. It's going to be do or die.
And just remember, everybody at home, FTW have not won a single map pick this entire event so far. Could the early lead come back to bite them? Hat's trying to get aggressive towards the top of main. Actually just gets caught off and takes a lot of damage on the drop down instead.
Yeah, forced back by the aim punch. Couldn't make the full-on run. So well played from whoever that was on the CT side that ran outside. Early damage being done without really having to take a true fight in that sense, alongside Liaz getting tagged up elsewhere. aliStair, top of silo, will engage against the CT forces directly and not land any shots, but vice versa also applies.
Oh, they'll need some assistance to try and get Hats out of that Africa position. FTW still pinning themselves to hold on to a lot of this utility. Aros getting spammed down to 26.
Equally though, Liaz takes even more damage down. He's the lower HP player on the T-side line. 2 for 1 on tags. 60 seconds remaining as Order sneak their way back into lobby, look towards that ramp control. It's Jerk standing alone. Could find some backup in Story very quickly, though.
He's got no util, Jay. He's got no way of slowing this down.
Got to stand and fight. Does his damage early. aliStair tag to 9. Story swings out and sees the massive T-side forces, knows that they must be storming the B site. A dive down from Agil will try protect it. Rotations are going to be slow, though.
They're taking their time about this. Very good crossfire. This is looking solid on the B side.
Jerks and Diaz watching and waiting. M4's watching either entrance. Diaz backs off, but Jerks claims the life of Ins and looks to claim even more, but the spray is so awkward. Sico gets his way in, but Diaz shuts him and aliStair down real quick. FTW take it 13-11, and now put themselves back on the running foot.
Okay, that was a very good call coming through from FTW. I like the way that even on the ramp defensive, you just try and drop down to that lower bomb site, set up the crossfire. It obviously helps that you've got both Hats and Liaz down fairly low when that final execution comes through. This is the last tactical that Kingfisher can use with his boys. And I think it's a good time. 11-13 down, you were just starting to get a bit of momentum. You're getting a streak forward, and now it's ended. Now you've got to fight back.
It should be noted, this is the 4th tactical that Order have taken. There's only one being called in by FTW thus far. And of course, in these tacticals, both coaches can talk. DDias has made the better of the time given to him, rather than the time he's given to his teammates. The guns have come back for Order, as you would expect. Money is still pretty heavy for them. A player has not invested at 10 grand still in the bank accounts. Diaz with a triple in that round. One that keeps Order from equalizing. FTW now want to try and put that lead back into what would basically be victory row here. 2 rounds separate them from map point. 2 rounds separate Order from FTW.
aliStair waiting for some slight aggression. Hats towards outside too. Liaz catches Diaz on the outside pick. That silo position has always been so deadly from the T-side perspective in both halves.
Pretty big player to remove from play as well. Second top fragger for FTW. Arrows are still sitting around here. It's Jerks towards the outside that will try to take the brunt of the outside control. Smokes in, all out towards Mini and Garage. Can't allow the cross towards Secret, but they're not going to opt for it. Agil instead pressing forward, catches Hatch, drops that bomb, sees the second man and wins that fight. Despite the dink coming in against him, Sico even loses to Arrows as he adjusted back. Now 2 players standing for the CT side. Ins pressing the issue, sees Agil and finally gets that trade back, but there's a further thing from Story and from Jerks that overwhelms all on the Order side.
Bro, what was that? I could just imagine Order looking at that round thinking, what the hell has just happened here? We've got an opening pick, we're setting up for a topside play. Not only does Agil get 2 kills in the squeak door, rather than backing off and playing the man advantage, they just keep going. They go, yeah, let's just push hard, let's push Squeaky. They didn't stop at all. That is relentless aggression for the win.
It might be quite literal at that. 2 rounds to go before For the Win get the win. Nuke to open things up, what would be a stark contrast to the number of map picks that they've lost. AK is all up and down the shop for FTW, and M4 of Diaz taken out first, but Arrows is still striking. 24 kills deep as he once again aggresses up Squeaky Door.
It's been a danger zone in and around that squeak door position. So much damage consistently rains in. Now there is a lurk downstairs from Ins. We're waiting for any further aggression to come up. You've got Arrows out and towards the other side. 2 players down at lower. A player in towards Garage that they don't know about just yet.
Minute and 10. Have their eyes set. The Molotovs rain in for what seems to be the set-piece execution. Ins, however, is downstairs, trying to throw a spanner into the works. Throw a smoke down of his own right, and Arrows is going to hear that. Agil might be forced to challenge first, though. Flashes in to check position. Who's going to get more complacent here, CT or T players?
It seems like it's going to be a lower take, and the spam finally comes through. The miss molly in from Hats too makes it have to be a cancel. They try and go in towards the top site, and they don't know about Story.
Just 3 big mistakes back to back to back. And just like that, FTW take control of this round. Hats and aliStair will try their hand at the clutch, and they will find Story. At least Agil also swings, but gets his kill back, and will double up on the retake of the site. 15 now for FTW, and it looks like Nuke might be going their way, Dweg. Order, however, a last chance at the overtime. 4 in a row to get there. What do you think?
It's going to be very tough, and I don't think Order have got what it takes to force it any further forward to an OT situation or a map victory. And I think that round was a prime example of how the outside teams, right, the ones outside of EU, struggle and get punished on the smallest of details. And that's always what happens with those overseas teams.
Now, the FTW Magic may look to roll on. Not like it's an uncommon sight for Order, but as you mentioned, you hope that they would be at least better than FTW. A squad that have attended majors, the RMRs, everything. Their achievements eclipse that of FTW. There's Hats that strikes first, at least the AWP missing from Story. As Order try and not let those achievements weigh upon their minds, try and work in with the experience that they've got.
Interesting. Rather than going down to that lower bomb site, they actually cancel. They leave that late lurk for Sico to work in and around. This might still be an upper hit. They're really trying to toy with the rotations.
Spray through on arrows does not go well for him. DDias with another good kill to his name. Another good kill for the T side in this one, a 5-on-3. Where do they go with this? Story dropping out of heaven and looking to back off the CT. Yeah, with them taking the A side clean and easy. Sico will look for the exits. There's an engagement, however, found by DDias, forcing him back with the spray through. Not going to force him into the kill, though.
That's a good call. You're 11-15. Why go for it? Hold on to your weapons by next round. Is this going to be the round that gets you 16th? Like, if we were to put a percentage on it and say, is this the round that gets you 16th? What's the percentage? I'd say 10%. It's such a low margin that it's not worth the risk. Hold on to your weapons. You've still got money in the bank. You can buy next round, because I can almost guarantee the next round, or maybe the one other, has a better chance of success than this one does.
Oh, most certainly, especially when you haven't got as much cash in the bank as you would otherwise hope to have for FTW. It's so lopsided. You've got Story on $800, DDias on $1,200. $4 grand or $5 grand for Agil and Jerks. So at least that's a little bit of high roll, and they can drop weapons. Can bring back the full buy with these weapons saved, so it makes sense in the outset. And the odds will be much better with a full gun buy.
Yeah, nice round there from Order with the pace. It really gets slowed down to a T, and I think that's where FTW really struggled, that it was so slow that they were able to bait out a few mistakes. Now Order just have to put their foot down, make sure they mimic control for these next few, because they know that the economy's still fairly strong, so they're going to be up against quite a few rifle buyers right up until the end.
Blind behind smokes, DDias again engages against Agil, doing minimal damage this time. FTW playing around those choke points, those entryways into the sites themselves. Outside control, not really contested, but not challenged by Order themselves.
Yeah, so far kill distribution's pretty solid by Order, but we probably need to see a little bit of aliStair and DDias come these last few rounds. And DDias averaging a 1.28 rating in the last 3 months on Nuke. If they could just have that slight burst right to the end.
He's leading the charge by a slight margin for the Order side. FTW, however, they have the stars on their own side. Distribution might be good, but no player from Order is at 20. They've got 2 of them and above there for FTW. Smokes again towards the red box cross. DDias is one of those 20 fraggers. M4 holding, gets ins, gets Sico, engages for the triple, almost gets it the same. Needs that one good bullet to Hats, and the USP will finish it. Drop the bomb into a 5-on-2. Arrows makes it 1, and it's over now. FTW pinned on to take this Nuke.
What a great piece of utility towards our outside position. That flash assist could not have come any better. All of those players coming through from T-Red could not see a thing, and aliStair's just tried his best to get this clutch together. The 1v4 doesn't come through, and for the win, close it when it matters most.
That they do. Overwhelming force there from FTW, and even though it felt like Order were going to bring back some decency, the overtime might have been right within their sights. The momentum shift felt like it was going their way. It was one big sequence from one of those big stars, something that Order were missing throughout the course of that entire map-up that made the biggest difference in the world for FTW. An unlikely back pick that goes the way of the Portuguese squad as they take Nuke, and we head back to the analyst desk after the break.